We've got lesson one, nothing I see means anything. Lesson two, I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. Lesson three, I do not understand anything I see. Lesson four, these thoughts do not mean anything. And lesson five, I am never upset for the reason I think. So, could you allow up some of the feelings, some of the energy that's been stored or carried or just focused upon and projected out in the world that's distorting vision, that's in the way of your happiness? So many of the thoughts that happen, Dr. David R. Hawkins suggests that thoughts are merely just attempts to rationalize and explain this stored energy. If you let go of this stored energy, all the thoughts disappear. Then you're available for, like it suggests in the course, the thoughts that you think with God. So we'll go over some of these concepts, some of these ideas, and just allow up some of the energy behind our erroneous thinking, behind placing our attention and focus on those things which are illusory, which aren't even there, which will pass away when we release the energy behind them, the feelings, the negative feelings, to be available for what God has in truth for us. So could you just let that energy come up instead of trying to stuff it down, instead of trying to make it go away? Could you just let what is transitory and not you pass through? It's okay to feel. It's okay to have these thoughts without further judgment, further guilt, further attack upon yourself and others. Could you just let this stuff move through and experience what you really are on the other side? We'll start with nothing I see means anything. So, in order to make room to see truly, to have vision, just begin with what's in the way of vision. So, you can take anything you see, whether it be a chair or another person, anything at all, and see what is covering up your vision. It's just some sense of meaning that may not even be real. So, looking at something in your space, in the room, anything you've seen, it could even be something you see in your mind. Could you notice any attempt to give it meaning or any meaning you've had for it? And what does it feel like behind that meaning? Do you notice the energy there? And could you let go of that meaning? If it's true, it will still be there. If it's not, may it be replaced by vision. Would you let go of anything in the way of seeing this from vision? And nothing I see means anything. Could you allow yourself to just look upon anything in your space, a person, a thing, something in your mind, and just notice if it seems like it means something, or you know what it means? And any energy behind that perception, could you just notice that? And could you let go of any meaning you've placed upon this? Would you let go of what's in the way of vision? And the second idea is I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. Notice judging everything you've looked upon. All I'm seeing is the judgments that I've put upon everything. It's not even real. And so, taking something you've judged, could you just notice how it feels to be putting that upon that? And could you allow yourself to release this judgment so you can see a different way? Would you allow yourself to release any judgment, any false meaning you have given what you look upon? When could you be willing to recognize the lack of validity in your judgments? Just release them. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. Can you just notice how you've judged everything you look upon? And how it's made something quite apart from what's really there? Are you willing to recognize perhaps you've judged an error? And can you notice what it feels like to be judging everything you see? Could you allow that energy up? And could you surrender these judgments? It's okay, they happen. Just could you give them up? Would you give up, surrender any judgments, any meanings you've given the things you look upon to see reality? When could you surrender, give up judgment, give up the illusion for reality? And the third idea, I do not understand anything I see. So if I've been putting errors, projecting my own errors of thoughts on things, that may not be the place to develop understanding. There's every reason to let it go. Could you allow yourself to feel what it feels like behind misunderstanding that's been built on judgments? It made an error. What's this energy carried behind living with misunderstandings developed from errors in thinking, to allow that energy up, and could you let it go? Would you let it go? When could you let go of misunderstanding and error so you can understand and love what is? You never have to, it's always optional. And just this idea, I do not understand anything I see. There may be some understandings you think you have, though, is there a chance that those understandings have been derived from errors in thought or judging amiss? And could you notice what it feels like to live in misunderstanding, operating with inaccurate information? It's okay. We all do. Could you just notice any energy that's stored behind misunderstanding and error? And could you release that energy? Would you release misunderstandings derived from error that you may understand and love what is actually there? You can always keep your understandings, or could you let them go? When could you release any misunderstanding based on error of thought? And fourth idea for review, these thoughts do not mean anything. When I attempt to think apart from God, I miss meaning. So, could you notice any thinking you've done apart from God, attempting to do it on your own? There will be doubt, there will be fear, pride, and those kinds of thoughts. And can you notice any attempting to think in error? Could you allow what it feels like to be grasping for meaning of thoughts apart from God? And could you surrender any meaning you were giving your thoughts in separation? Would you surrender, give up meaningless thoughts to think thoughts with God? When could you surrender the meaningless thoughts? Have them be replaced. And these thoughts do not mean anything. I have been thinking apart from God, imagining, judging, just erring, some simple mistakes. It's okay. Oh, could you notice any meaning you think your thoughts have had and how it feels to think thoughts apart from God, from Source, from creation? Could you allow any of that energy to move that would bind you in error and illusion? And could you set that energy free and set yourself free, making room for true meaning and true thoughts? Would you surrender and give up false meanings, this energy, and have them be replaced in truth? And the final idea for review: I am never upset for the reason I think. Can you notice any justification of upset, trying to make it true? Is there anything you're upset about which you are trying to prove is real? Perhaps making ideas of enemies so that your anger is justified and your attacks are warranted? And can you just notice what it feels like to imagine upsets and attempt to prove them and justify them? Any upset that you become aware of. And could you go behind this feeling, this upset? Could you go behind the thoughts of this upset and feel the feeling of this upset? Just ignoring the thoughts which would try to justify and keep this energy. Could you let that energy run, feel it, and could you let go? Are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to let go of justifying your upsets, insisting on having enemies, warranting attack? Are you willing to let that go? Would you be willing to let go of defending a thought system that has hurt you? Would you be willing to let go of this energy? When could you let go? I am never upset for the reason I think. And just taking any upset, anything seems to be angering or fearful. And can you notice any attempts to justify carrying that energy or that upset? Oh, it's because of this, some enemy, or that, some situation. You notice any trying to prove or justify your thoughts around this energy of upset? And could you let those thoughts drift by and notice the energy that remains, the source of these erroneous thoughts, what they're attracted to? Could you feel that feeling? And could you release that energy, that feeling, and justifying upset? Are you willing to release it? Could you just allow yourself, just for now, would you allow yourself to release the energy behind your upsets? You're always welcome to keep it. Just would you be willing to release it? When could you be willing to release the energy behind any perceived upsets and trying to make them true? And feel free to go over these 5 lessons, the review today, and just release on all of this, all these identifications, beliefs, seeming meanings, and make room for what's really there. And if you'd like some help to release more of what might not be there, release more blocks to vision, more seeming separation from the thoughts you might think with God when it's not there, please join us at the link in the description at releasetoresults.com, where we do open topic releasing a couple of times a day. And you can hop in there for free with us and let go, release, surrender, whether it's these topics that you find in A Course in Miracles or just those seeming upsets that come through the day. Things with relationships, things with money, things with health. Happy to help you release anything that's not actually there so you can experience what is at releasetoresults.com. And thanks for watching and releasing with us this morning. Have the best day you can.